That was a great story you told me the other day, Mark. What happened next?
Well, Arnie, what happens is Ellen didn't die. She obviously kept alive, but she was sickly, she wasn't well, and one of the big things was she couldn't go back to school. She tried, but her body was too weak and she couldn't handle it. And that was really, really hard for her because she loved school. Can you imagine that? She loved school. And because she couldn't go back to school, and because she couldn't do some of the things that she used to do, she got angry with God. She blamed God. It was like, God, why did you let this happen to me? You know, which was a bit like Job in the Bible when he had that really bad stuff happen to him and he lost everything. He said it was like arrows from God shot at him. And that's how Ellen was feeling. She was blaming God. She was saying, God, you've done this to me. And of course, that meant that she began to feel far away from God, especially because at the time she believed that there was a thing called hell where those who were wicked and bad burned and burned and burned and never stopped. And that meant that she was afraid of God. She saw God as a tyrant, actually, who delighted in the agonies of people who were condemned. And so she was really not handling this well at all. And one of the worst things was she wasn't telling anybody else about what was going on. She kept it all to herself, which is a really bad thing to do. When you've got stuff going on, you really need to talk to somebody else, Arnie.
I believe that's true.
Ellen kept it to herself. She didn't tell anyone. She blames God. But what's really interesting is she loves Jesus. She still sees Jesus as someone who she can talk to, who can be close to her. And so somehow she separated Jesus and God, which isn't right. But that's what happened until she had a couple of dreams. And in the last one of those dreams, she really saw Jesus as someone loving and kind who knew exactly what was happening for her. And after that, finally, she told somebody, her mum.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, she talked to her mum. And having talked to her mum arranged for her to talk to a pastor who was not well himself. And he talked to her about what God is really like. She came to see as a result that God was a loving God, and Jesus shows us who God is. And for me, Arnie, that's really important, that we know that God's a loving God.
I believe he's a loving God. Well, I know him as a loving God.
Yeah, so Ellen came to really see God is love, not to be afraid of him, but rather that God is with us even in all the bad stuff that happens. And sometimes the bad stuff helps us find out who God is and helps us turn towards God. Because if we only ever had good stuff happen to us, we probably wouldn't think we needed God. And that wouldn't be good, Arnie.
No good, no.
So she learned that God was with her in that bad stuff. And later on, she actually said, hey, if it hadn't have been for that accident, I probably wouldn't have had my eyes turned towards Jesus. And we really need Jesus, Arnie. And that's what she came to discover.
Thanks for that, Mark. But our time is up for today, and you have been listening to Bible Buddies. But we'll look forward to catching up with all of you again next time. So take care, stay safe, and God bless.
Learn about our wonderful God each day.
Stop and learn.